Long before people judge your abilities, they judge the story they have created about you. That story might come from one conversation, one mistake, one success, or even something they heard from someone else. If you are not careful, you will spend years trying to fix stories you never wrote instead of living the life you were meant to live. I want to show you why that happens and, more importantly, how to break free from it. Stay with me until the end, because once you understand how narratives shape your life, you will stop chasing approval and start protecting something far more valuable, your identity. If you enjoy conversations that challenge your thinking and help you grow, subscribe and join us. Every week we explore psychology, philosophy, and timeless life lessons that you can apply to your everyday life. Have you ever noticed how one person can describe you as confident while another describes you as arrogant? One sees kindness, another sees weakness. The same person receives completely different labels depending on who is doing the talking. That should tell you something important. People do not always see you as you are. They see you through their own experiences, expectations, beliefs, and emotions. Their opinion says as much about them as it does about you. This is part of being human. We naturally make sense of people through stories. Instead of collecting every detail, the mind fills in missing pieces and creates a narrative that feels complete, even when it is not. Psychologist Jerome Bruner explained that people understand life through narratives. Stories help us organize experiences, remember important events, and give meaning to what happens around us. That is how the mind makes a complicated world easier to understand. The same process shapes the way you see yourself. Every experience adds another sentence to your internal story. Every success strengthens one belief. Every disappointment has the power to strengthen another. Picture two people losing the same opportunity. One walks away saying, "I will never be good enough." The other says, "I still have more to learn." The event is identical. The story is different. From that point on, their choices move in completely different directions. That is why the story matters. A setback lasts for a moment. The meaning you attach to it can influence your decisions for years if you never challenge it. This is where people often trap themselves without realizing it. They stop looking at facts and start living according to conclusions they accepted during painful moments. Someone once told them they were not smart enough. They still carry those words. They failed at something years ago. They still expect failure. The event ended long ago, but the story never did. Take a moment and listen to the way you speak to yourself when things go wrong. That voice deserves your attention because it quietly shapes the decisions you make every single day. If that voice constantly reminds you of your failures, your confidence has very little room to grow. If it reminds you of what you are learning, your mindset stays open, even during difficult seasons. The Stoic philosophers understood this long before modern psychology existed. They accepted that life would bring disappointment, criticism, and uncertainty. But they refused to let those experiences decide who they were. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that the mind has the power to interpret every situation differently. Hardship does not automatically destroy a person. The meaning attached to hardship often determines what comes next. Modern psychology reaches the same conclusion. Cognitive psychologists have shown that our interpretation of an event often influences our emotions more deeply than the event itself. That explains why two people can face the same challenge while producing completely different outcomes. One carries the disappointment into every future opportunity. The other carries the lesson. The difference is not talent, it is not intelligence, it is not luck. The difference is the story each person chooses to believe after life tests them. Many people think controlling the narrative means convincing everyone else to agree with them. That is impossible. There will always be people who misunderstand you, criticize you, or refuse to change their minds. The energy you spend trying to control their opinion is energy you no longer have to improve yourself. That is a trade you can never afford to make. Put that energy into strengthening your character instead. Keep your word. Stay disciplined. Admit your mistakes. Treat people with respect. Those habits build a reputation that no argument can compete with. Speak when honesty requires it. but stop feeling responsible for changing every opinion. Some people are not looking for understanding. They are looking for confirmation of what they already believe. Once you accept that, life feels lighter. You stop carrying the impossible responsibility of managing everyone's perception. You focus on living in a way that reflects your values instead. From this point forward, keep one principle close to you. Your future will never be shaped by every opinion people hold about you. It will be shaped by the story you choose to believe and the actions you repeat every single day. You can see this pattern almost everywhere today. People spend more time protecting their image than developing their character. They worry about how they appear instead of paying attention to who they are becoming. Social media has amplified that pressure. Every scroll exposes you to carefully selected moments of success, happiness, wealth, or beauty. After a while, it becomes easy to believe everyone else is moving ahead while you are standing still. The comparison feels real, but the picture is incomplete. Every person has struggles they rarely share, doubts they keep private, and battles that never appear on a screen. The danger is not seeing someone else's success. The danger is allowing someone else's story to distract you from writing your own. That is how people lose years chasing lives they were never meant to live. You have probably felt this before. You accomplish something meaningful, yet instead of appreciating your progress, you immediately compare it to someone who appears to have achieved more. Satisfaction disappears because comparison keeps moving the finish line. The same thing happens with criticism. One negative comment can erase the impact of 10 encouraging ones because the mind naturally pays more attention to perceived threats than praise. Psychologists call this the negativity bias. That is why one careless opinion can stay in your mind for days while genuine compliments fade much faster. Your brain is trying to protect you, but without realizing it, you allow criticism to shape your identity. People who understand this do not ignore feedback. They examine it. If it is true, they learn from it. If it is false, they leave it behind. They refuse to carry unnecessary weight. That is a habit worth developing. Listen with humility, but do not surrender your identity to every opinion you hear. Not everyone deserves that kind of influence over your life. There is another trap that catches many people. They spend so much time explaining themselves that they never give their actions the opportunity to speak. Words can defend your reputation for a moment. Character defends it for a lifetime. Instead of spending your energy arguing with every opinion, put that same energy into becoming wiser, kinder, more disciplined, and more consistent. Over time, your life will speak more clearly than your explanations ever could. That does not mean you should avoid difficult conversations. Honest communication builds healthy relationships. Endless justification does not. One creates understanding, the other drains your peace. Before you respond, stop for a moment and ask yourself, will this conversation improve anything? If the answer is no, your silence may accomplish more than another explanation. There is strength in knowing that not every misunderstanding needs your attention. Some people only listen to reply. Others only listen to confirm what they already believe. You do not have to attend every argument you are invited into. Protecting your peace is not weakness. It is wisdom. The story you repeat in private deserves just as much attention. Pay close attention to what you tell yourself after a mistake because those words shape the way you approach your next opportunity. If you keep saying, "I always fail," your actions eventually follow that belief. If you tell yourself, "I made a mistake, and I can improve," your mind stays open to growth instead of closing the door on possibility. Notice the difference. One story keeps you trapped in the past, the other gives you a reason to keep moving. The event does not change, but your direction does. Every person who has built something meaningful has faced disappointment. They lost opportunities. They made mistakes. They experienced rejection. What separated them was not a perfect journey. It was the decision to keep writing a better story. That decision is available to you every single day. You do not need a different past to build a different future. You need a different response to the past you already have. The world will continue offering opinions about your life. Some will encourage you, others will discourage you. Neither one should have more influence than your values. Once your values become your compass, other people's opinions lose much of their power. You stop changing direction every time someone disagrees with you. Ironically, that is when people often respect you more. Confidence does not come from convincing everyone. It comes from standing firmly on principles you refuse to compromise. Build a life that reflects honesty, discipline, humility, and consistency. Those qualities outlast trends, outlast criticism, and outlast temporary opinions. At that point, you no longer spend your days trying to control every conversation about your life. Your actions tell the story for you, and they tell it better than words ever could. So where do you go from here? You stop treating every opinion like an emergency. Not every criticism deserves your attention. Not every misunderstanding deserves a response. Your energy is too valuable to spend it fighting battles that will never improve your life. The next time someone misjudges you, resist the urge to defend yourself immediately. Give your actions the opportunity to speak first. A calm, consistent life has a way of answering questions that words never can. If you know you made a mistake, admit it without making excuses. There is strength in taking responsibility. People respect honesty far more than they respect someone who is always trying to protect their image. If the criticism is unfair, learn to leave it where it belongs. Carrying someone else's misunderstanding only makes your journey heavier. You do not have to carry what was never yours. This takes practice because your mind naturally wants closure. It wants everyone to understand your intentions. The reality is that some people never will, and your peace cannot depend on changing their minds. Instead of asking, how do I make them see the real me? Ask yourself, am I living in a way that reflects the person I want to become? That question always leads you somewhere productive. Put your attention on the habits that shape your character. Read more. Learn new skills. Keep your promises. Show kindness even when nobody notices. Stay disciplined when motivation disappears. Those choices build a reputation that lasts. Trust takes time to earn, and so does respect. Do not rush the process. Every honest decision adds another brick to the foundation of your character, even if nobody applauds you today. There will always be people who misunderstand your silence. Let them. Silence does not always mean you have nothing to say. Sometimes it means you have nothing left to prove. You will also notice something interesting. The less time you spend chasing approval, the more freedom you experience. Your decisions stop revolving around other people's expectations and start reflecting your own values. That freedom changes the way you walk through life. You stop second-guessing every choice because you are no longer asking for permission to be yourself. There's another habit I want to encourage you to develop. Spend a few minutes at the end of each day asking yourself one simple question. Did my actions reflect the person I want to become today? That question will teach you more than hours of worrying about someone else's opinion. Some days the answer will be yes. Other days it will be no. Both answers are useful because they show you where you are growing and where you still need to improve. Progress has never required perfection. It requires honesty, consistency, and the willingness to keep moving after a difficult day. You are not defined by your worst decision. You are defined by the direction you choose after making it. Every new day gives you another opportunity to write a better chapter. Stop measuring your worth by applause. Applause comes and goes. Character stays with you long after the crowd has moved on. Stop giving temporary opinions permanent authority over your life. People change their minds all the time. Your values should not change every time someone disagrees with you. Live in a way that makes you proud when nobody is watching. Integrity has a quiet confidence because it does not depend on recognition. Keep your focus on what you can actually control. Your attitude, your effort, your choices, your habits. Those are the things that shape your future every single day. When you build your life on those foundations, criticism loses much of its power. Praise also loses its ability to control you. You appreciate encouragement, but you no longer depend on it. That is what real confidence looks like. It is steady. It is humble. It is built through daily choices instead of dramatic moments. Your story is still being written. Every decision you make today adds another sentence. Make sure it is a sentence you will be proud to read years from now. Never forget this. The loudest voice in your life should not come from the crowd. It should come from the values you choose to live by every single day. If this conversation encouraged you, take one lesson from it and apply it today. Small, consistent actions always create bigger changes than good intentions left undone. Thank you for spending this moment with me. If you found value in this message, subscribe so you do not miss future conversations like this. Share your thoughts in the comments because I would love to hear what stood out to you, and if this could be helpful to someone you care about, share it with them. Until next time, keep building a life that speaks for itself.